many of you like to yap or argue? If your answer was a nod or a yes, then I'd like to introduce you to the world of communications. At the root of almost everything we do, our culture, and even history itself, lies communication. With that said, I invite you all to take a moment of your time to see if comms is something you'd be interested in. I felt we should get a few honorable mentions out of the way first. Careers that require communication skills that some of you may be interested in or actively pursuing. This goes out to all you future lawyers, real estate agents, content writers, and members of the city, state, or federal government, and many more. While these careers don't require a degree in communications, it's still important to have those skills even if they're only surface level. Obviously, lawyers have to communicate with the judge and jury to gain favor of the argument. Real estate agents have to speak to inform and persuade a potential property buyer. And content writers have to communicate effectively to meet a client's requirements. And members of the government communicate with the public regularly to gain support. Now that we've gotten those out of the way, let's pivot into the careers that do require a degree in comms and see if any of those pique your interest. This includes everything from HR, PR, news, radio, advertising, marketing, and etc. The list goes on, and so can I, but for your sake, I'll try not to. At the basis of everything we do, even if it isn't career-related, our day-to-day lives revolve around communication. For instance, have you ever been put in a situation where you're ordering food for the first time by yourself? Or maybe you had to hold the line while your mom or dad ran to get something they missed on the grocery list. Is that mine? All right. Thanks. You too. As embarrassing as that is, it's not the end of the world. And having a better understanding of what makes you a better communicator and what works best for you will help you in the long run. Effective communication leads to smoother conversations, and you just sound like you know what you're doing. And hopefully you do. Lawyers. Your Honor, I call bullshit. That guy's funny. But seriously, don't do that in court. Please don't. Okay, let's move on to the courses focused on communications and what they entail. At the very basic level, they will require public speaking, assumptive argumentation, interpersonal, intercultural, nonverbal, and intro to mass communications. These are some of the courses you will need to take, and at first, it can seem daunting. Some of these courses will push you out of your comfort zone to build up the skills and improve how you communicate. Public speaking, as the name suggests, is a class about public speaking, which applies to lawyers, PR, news, real estate agents, and some of the other career choices mentioned previously. This class will help you improve your social anxiety and give you tips on how to maintain a smooth and steady pace. It also focuses on some of the more unconscious things we do when we're nervous, like tapping our feet, twiddling our fingers, or maybe pinching our clothes. I'm sure most of us have seen those TED Talks or other speakers who can deliver a presentation and make it look like second nature. Maybe it is for them, but for the rest of us, it takes time and practice to be able to reach that level. The next course is for all you yappers and arguers, or the more civil term, debaters. Assumptive argumentation, which again applies to a lot of the career choices, expect focusing on speech and debate skills. This course also provides you with the framework for a strong argument in essays and other forms of written content you may face in the future. Okay, let's just say those courses don't exactly sound interesting or appealing, even after my amazing and brief description of each. Well, how would you like to have a better understanding of romantic and platonic relationships? Or maybe be able to identify if someone's lying right to your face? Well then, communications has courses that cater to that as well, and those courses are interpersonal and nonverbal communication. Interpersonal communication focuses on more one-on-one or smaller audiences like a partner or a group of friends. It focuses on relationship building and conflict resolving, and generally how to be more perceptive to things when it counts, especially in relationships. Guys, how many of us can agree that going to sleep angry or leaving an argument unresolved is the worst feeling, especially if you're the only one putting effort into it? I'm sure most of us would agree without hesitation, and if it's something you struggle with, whether that be on the receiving end or the giving end. Now, moving on to nonverbal communications, it's a course of its own, but it can be applied everywhere. When nervous, your average person will have a tell, something that gives them away that can be observed easily. Eye movement, body language, and how they react to a question or statement are all forms of nonverbal communication that you can identify yourself. If you were in a situation where there are two others involved, one speaks calmly and smoothly, and the other speaks quick, makes mistakes, or backtracks on themselves, then who would you believe more? If you said the first one, you'd be right 50% of the time, because you didn't observe the body language. They could speak calmly while their eyes don't meet yours, they're fidgeting with their fingers or tapping their foot. Every course has its niche purpose and is meant to teach you something, but a lot of them overlap, and it makes the career or major choices related to comms quite flexible. Just because you aren't a comms major or following a career path that requires too much communications doesn't mean you can't be interested in some of the topics covered in each. When we listen to music, a lot of us take the lyrics as they are, which is extremely surface level. And there's so much more to dive into and find hidden meanings behind those lyrics. Critical thinkers, I know you're out there. I thoroughly believe that you would find enjoyment in some of these courses. Heck, if you're in need of a few credits, why not take a comms class that appeals to you? No matter which class, as long as you have an interest, there will be something there for you to learn. Personally, I think it's also an easy A in most cases as well. Pretty appealing, right? All in all, communications as a major is something I personally enjoy and think some of you would as well. Even if you don't plan on pursuing a career in comms, I invite you to take a little of your time to maybe dig deeper because the benefits the courses provide, even if you only take one or two, are pretty evident. An interesting and usually interactive course, nice professors, and an easy A sounds pretty nice to me.